Hello everyone, my very dear audio friends around the world. Welcome back to my studio, Warsaw, Poland. I'm Paul. Good to see you again. Guys, another hardware review today. Carnaby HE-2 harmonic 3-band EQ, or simply a multiband saturator, we should call it. I'm gonna review it for you, whether it's any good, whether it's better than my Drawmer 1976 that I have owned for last 2.5 years. Should I sell it? Should I go completely Carnaby? Or maybe I should stick to plugins while saturating my signals? That's what we're gonna all learn today. And as always, if you think this channel is a cool place, if you like my studio, my videos, please consider subscribing somewhere here down in the corner, getting notified, liking this vid, commenting on it down below so that I know what you think about this Carnaby HE-2 and what's your way of saturating your stuff. Do you saturate your signals or you completely skip it? Let me know down below, and now let's go. All right, people, as you can see, our today's session is different. You're not gonna see my beautiful face. You're gonna see the unit. It's a beautiful one, come on, it really looks great, no matter the sound even, I would say. And you're gonna also see my Drawmer, which we are going also to use to compare a couple of things. And before I show you the session, and as for the price of Carnaby HE-2 here in Poland, I checked it out on Supersound. I'm not affiliated with this Polish store. The price for this unit is roughly $2,000, I would say, but it's not available, probably because it's so successful, I would say. And this is the official Cranborn Audio website, and we're gonna learn that key features: stereo 2U rack, 3-band parametric analog EQ with harmonic EQ circuit, low, high shelving bands and peaking mid-band, low, mid and high LED indicators, those beautiful ones, plus minus 20 input-output level for probably we're gonna get more saturation when we do it like this, and we're gonna get less saturation when we tweak it like this. We're gonna test it out soon. Stereo dual mono mid-side operation. Every band can be put into bypass, and stepped front panel controls, plus plug-in control via USB or network, guys. As for the price here, well, I don't have the price given. And in dollars, yes, roughly $2,150. That's the price of the unit, and as I told you, the panel of this thing is absolutely gorgeous. It looks so beautiful as it is in the studio. Just for the look of it, it's cool to have it in the rack, because the look of this is just impressive. But of course, that's not the most important thing. Testing it out, how it sounds, that's what's important, and we can get into our session. And today we're gonna throw some drums, bass, keys, leads, and let's say noise elements into Carnaby to see how it saturates each of these signals. And then we're gonna create a premix of all elements without saturation, with just slight mastering like compression and limiting. And then when we saturate everything, we're gonna print the tracks, and we're gonna make the wet mix with exactly same compression and limiting. We're gonna gain match each track and the whole thing. So we're gonna compare how non-saturated versus saturated through Carnaby HE-2 premix goes, and the dry premix sounds like this. Well, nothing too fancy probably for now. As you can see, there's no additional processing, only a Uline to gain match the levels perfectly between dry and processed signals. And as I told you, some mastering like dynamic processing, very basic. And that's it, guys. And we're gonna throw each of the instruments to the Carnaby and see what happens. Yes, I put the output to Carnaby and now my input is Carnaby. Actually, my RME interface is a great patch bay, my friends. You can make it a software DAW patch bay, but also you can make it a patch bay just from your Total Mix console. We're not gonna talk about it today. I think I made a separate video about it actually. I'm gonna link this video for you here. And guys, let's process the drums through Carnaby now. But you know what? To make it easier for us, we're not gonna make it through a manual control as I would normally do. We're gonna load the plugin, we will choose the unit here, and as you can see, this small LED indicator just blinked here. That means we are already connected. The panel of the plugin looks different than the hardware, but it is corresponding. Like here I'm gonna choose the frequency range, here I'm gonna choose the input, output, also dual mono, stereo or mid-side operations are possible. And obviously we're gonna switch to stereo, so the channels are linked. And let's go with the drums. And low band is a shelving band, so anything below, let's say 90 Hertz, is going to be affected by our tweaks. Guys, this is thunderous. Like seriously. The pure amount of bass you can get from this unit is simply mad. And I mean, not only it's mad, it sounds very good. I would say it sounds kind of noble. Let's listen to it. You know what? I know it's a completely different unit with different philosophy, different build, topology, everything. But the quality of this bass reminds me a lot of Pultec devices that I use mainly in form of Acoustica audio plugins, but there is some nobility, like this very noble, very high quality sound in the low end coming from this. And also, probably if I do it like this, I'm gonna be able to saturate this signal even more. Yes, let's get back to this. It would be cool to have automatic gain compensation between these two, but you know what? Let's leave it probably somewhere around here. And let's tweak the mids. Mids are fixed Q band, fixed Q single band from 200 to 6,200. Something like this, maybe. And the tops can start at 5 kilo to 25 kilo to give us the curve we know from Meg EQ, maybe. Yes, probably. Having this set so high reminds me a lot this air band from Meg EQ4 that I can make it even 40K here. How does it sound? Wow. Very crispy sounding. And probably I would start even somewhere here. Yeah, that's it for the drums. I think we're there, and tweaking this is so easy, and it's so responsive, as you can see, and all the digital control for this is so cool, easy, that, guys, it's a dream, seriously. And I can save it as a preset, of course, so I can recall it easily in my session. But let's compare dry versus wet. Yes, I definitely like it like this, guys. And let's leave it here, and I'm gonna print this now. Okay, so it's printed, and I can remove the control plugin from this track. I can get back here. I'm gonna mute it for now and get back to this main dry group. And let's tweak some bass now. Okay, so when putting the plugin, it actually resets all the controls to 0, so I have to start all over again, but I don't care, it's fine. And I would saturate this bass even more. Whoa! Around 1.5, yes, I love this. That's gonna work perfect in this track. Yeah. And also some air, around 10K maybe? What about dry versus wet? Of course, I will have to gain match this, but I love everything about it. I love bass, the mids are quite narrow, but very useful, and highs, tops are very, very crispy. And for now, I have to tell you, I'm quite delighted with how it sounds, how it behaves, and the results it's giving me. So you know what, let's print this too. Keys, my friends, and same story. We're gonna get it to Carnaby and go. Here's the plugin, connecting, zeroing the unit. Yes, and I'm gonna saturate this hard as well. I'm not gonna touch the lows. I don't need to do anything with the lows, but I would need some body in the keys somewhere here. And also, they are kind of nice, lo-fi, noisy, and I would expose this a bit, starting even at 6. Against dry signal. Cool, printing it. And now the lead. We're gonna do it again quick. Carnaby is here. Boom. I'm not gonna touch the highs. I would just only go for lows and mids to give it more body. Okay, let's print. And the last element, my friends, noise. And you know what? I'm gonna push this noise quite harder because, as you might already notice, this unit is not overdriving your signal. It's not distorting it much. Actually, it's really gentle. It's, I would say, yes, mastering grade, mastering-like. And the effects it's having on the signal are subtle. Like even when I'm pushing it that hard, still it's not like tons of saturation, which is definitely something else, this Drawmer, which can be pushed hard so easy actually. But you know, we're gonna get it to its very soon, and now I will do my best to push this really hard. Yeah, you know what? Just for fun, maybe of some sort, I will drive it as much as I can. Let's compare dry versus wet. Of course, it's not gain match right now because wet signal is definitely louder, but I'm gonna do the gain matching very soon. And now, people, when I have my signals back again in the structure, what I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna print both dry premix, wet premix. I'm gonna gain match them precisely, and I'm gonna listen to both versions to decide which is better, the dry one or maybe Carnaby improved it in any way. Let's go. All right, people, I printed both dry premix and wet processed premix. As you can see, they are quite precisely gain matched. 0.1 LUFS. This one's actually louder, so I might even put it this one maybe like this to really gain match them. And guys, now we're gonna make a listening test so that we know whether this Carnaby actually really did any good to our music. Let's go. Yeah! Are you kidding, actually? That sounds great. I mean, there's not like much difference, but remember, the only difference between these two is me using Carnaby. But I do hear difference, and I like this difference very much. The sound got so much deeper at the low end, as I said, kind of noble. Also, the presence of the whole premix is increased. Well, this is saturation, saturating EQ, harmonic EQ. So the presence is there. It's more in the front, and it's so much more organic. It doesn't sound VST at all. I would say the sound is moving a lot, and it became a bit noisy in a very cool, very analog way that I absolutely love, I have to tell you. So, the results I got from this are like seriously, wow. I'm all sold here, my friends. But you know what? We have to make another test to make really sure, right? So, what I also did in the meantime is that I took a track. I probably should also make call it now dry, and I processed the whole track that definitely needed some saturation. There was room for saturation in this track, and I put it through the units, and as I said, it's gonna be a comparison between dry signal, Carnaby processed, 1976 processed, and what I also did is that I took Saturn 2, I made it 3-band, and I processed the same signal also using Saturn. And all the signals, same story, are precisely gain matched. Maybe not the dry, give me a second, I'm gonna gain match the dry signal. Okay, so now everything is gain matched. And just a word about 1976. This thing, I told you already, it's so easy to drive it hard. I had to put it somewhere at, I usually put it somewhere at -6, and then I crank my output more. And also the amount of saturation per band is significantly higher than with Carnaby. And this thing can sound like a monster. It can really distort your stuff. But I tried to match the tone of both as well as Saturn 2 so that it's as close as possible, humanly possible in reasonable amount of time. And as you already know, I simply printed them all, gain matched them all. And you know what? Now we're gonna make a blind test which one I like most, because they are very close, and which one I like most and which one I like least, so that we know a bit more. And maybe before we go into any comparison, I'm gonna just tell you that the track is called The Weekend from Wish by the artist called Runstrom. It's licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 license. When using Creative Commons music, you always have to give this info. And it's from Free Music Archive, my favorite place for free Creative Commons licensed music. No, I'm not affiliated here. Nothing, I just like them and I simply support places like this with free music. And the track goes like this. And that's it, my friends. And what I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna put blind test by Hofa. We're not gonna listen to Carnaby version, 1976 version, or Saturn version. We're gonna do it a blind test, my friends. And probably I should hide all the windows. I'm gonna keep only blind test window. And we're gonna decide which one we like best. Whoa! Well, they all sound very good. This one is dry, that's for sure. Simply no saturation of any kind that I can hear. And the kick at the start, I would say I like this one most. Double click to enter notes. It sounds fullest, sounds very rich. The low and the bottom is very round, very warm. Probably I exaggerated a bit, but still I like this one definitely most. These are very similar, but if I had to choose, I would make it like this. So let's see what we got. Guys, this is crazy. I got Carnaby right, I got dry right, and wasn't too difficult to guess this one. But actually I liked Saturn a bit more than I liked 76. And this is actually a great news for the plugin, that it sounded so convincing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with 76, but maybe I was quite too conservative with this saturation. Maybe there was not enough of it a bit, because it sounded a bit more weak than the rest, but probably I did not saturate it enough. Now, that's what I'm thinking. This is a great unit. Don't get me wrong, this really is a great unit. But having Carnaby at number 1, this is really something, and that makes me make my mind up. This is going to stay in the studio after both tests concluded today, and seriously, this is a great unit, but I'm choosing this over this, so I'm gonna sell my Drawmer. And you know what? I think I'm ready to sum the things up. What do I think about Carnaby? Well, that's gonna be probably a mainstay in my studio. And as my routing is really flexible, my RME is my pathway, as I told you, I'm gonna throw it both onto groups, single instruments, and also my mastering section. Now, of course, I overdid a bit today, maybe in this low-end department, which is thunderous and really impressive. But I think you got a glimpse how good, actually, how versatile, how cool this unit is, especially with the possibility of tweaking it remotely via plugin, guys. And yes, my Drawmer is going to be sold, and my software saturation is going to appear very rarely after what I've heard today. That's it, guys. Hope you liked it, and hope to hear from you down below in the comment section. Tell me what you think, and I hope to hear from you very, very soon. Take care. Bye.